Welcome to the Second Win Boxing Media. I'm your host, Rashid Hammond, and alongside.
It's your boy, Caesar Fantastic.
Well, today we're going to change gears up a little bit. And the climate of today, where the Errol Spence versus Crawford fight was in jeopardy of not happening, or has not been the deal has not went through, as well as the Garcia versus Tank fight that they're saying also is not going through. So today we decided to do a list of our top 5 greatest fights of all times. Disclaimer: these are all of our individual fights that we chose based upon our own judgment of what we think. We were just talking about earlier, Haru as well as C's. We were talking about how could we, it's on the eye of the beholder in terms of if, some fighters, some people eyes might like to see brawling fights, say all-out slugfest. Others might like to see a boxing lesson, someone that has good footwork. It's all on the eyes of the beholder. So this is going to be a very interesting discussion. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start off with each of our first number 5. My number 5 is a fight that happened in 1863. Andy Brown versus Jack Burke. It was in New Orleans, and it was 110 rounds that took place for 7 hours. The referee declared this bout a no contest, and the purse was $2,500. Imagine going 110 rounds for $2,500, which was a lot of money in 1893. What is your top? What's your number 5, Haru?
My number 5, I think, will have to be Ken Norton and Larry Holmes. Yeah, I like Ken. You remember that? You remember that fight?
Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed. Larry Holmes jab, man.
Larry Holmes, incredible, man. This dude, man. Yeah, and I just love the, like you said earlier about what fights will make great fights. Because I never thought about it, because I had to try to distinguish for myself. Was this a great fight to me, or was this a fight I liked a lot? I thought it was the best. Or this is because I got a different reason why I like Caesar was saying, we talking about maybe doing some stuff with the greatest comebacks. To me, that makes a great fight when you can and come back after going, you're ready to get knocked out, been knocked down twice, like with the Corrales. What's his name? My man
Castillo.
Yep.
Like just to watch him go back and forth like that, just like Caesar said, mentioned the round 9, the Ward fight, Ward and Gotti. I mean, man, so it was just so hard when I started when you posed it to me, when I started really thinking about it, I was like, is this a great fight, or is it just a fight that I love? I had to try to distinguish, try to take my feelings out of it and look at it from a different view and say, okay, it's a great fight, and try to figure it out. I never thought about it like that until you asked me. So that's why it was so hard. Then after I sent you what I like, I still stuff started popping in my head, other fights. And I was like, oh man, I'm in this world. I'm gonna be able to pick, man.
Right. Yes, indeed.
Or how about stuff like how when Ali came back from not fighting anybody, and Frazier was already, this is how the political thing was. They didn't like Ali for dodging the draft and all that.
Yeah.
He came back, and even though that was a great fight, but I've seen greater fights, but it was what came with the fight that made that a great fight. You know what I mean?
Impact.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So what is your number 5, C's?
Ooh, number 5 for me. I was back and forth on this one. Um, it's gonna be Wilder and Fury 1 for me, and
Okay.
it's the bounce back. It's the bounce back. It's Fury getting up off that canvas in that 12th when I'm sitting here like Wilder got it, Wilder got it. You know what I mean? It's the roller coaster of emotions in that fight, and it was a good fight. That was a good fight for me. So yes,
It-
Wilder Fury 1.
Hey, Caesar, can I ask you a question? So,
Yo,
so, so this is real weird, right? But so, do you think that you would have thought? Do you think what you think about the Fury Tyson one without 2 and 3? You think you'd have felt? Do you felt that same way? Like after you saw 2 and 3, you still feel the exact same way about one?
because one is the best fight to me out of all of
Oh,
them. Two Wilder gas, you know what I mean,
yeah,
and three it was sort of. I mean, two Wilder they threw in the towel or whatever. Three was, you know what I mean. One was
yeah,
the best back and forth of the three. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
yeah, that they didn't take away from that for me. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's
I'm gonna use this
okay.
time to remind everybody real quick. I'm gonna use this time to remind everybody, hit the sub button, hit the like button, rock out with us. We're gonna be here coming with the best interviews, best guests, everything. Rock out with us. Second Win Boxing. Let's go. Back to the list.
Yes, indeed. Number 4. My number 4 is Ike Corte versus Oscar De La Hoya.
Go see that. That John was tight.
Man, the reason why I picked that one, that was a pure chess match. I
Mm.
mean, they both were equal in skill, in my opinion. The deciding factor to me personally was the late knockdown.
Mm.
The late knockdown, I think it happened in round 12, if I'm not mistaken. That was the deciding factor between that being a draw, in my opinion.
Mm. Mm.
And I Corte had one of the most purest jabs since Larry Holmes.
Yeah, that Corte was jazz vicious.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yes,
remember.
indeed. He had one of the purest jabs since Larry Holmes.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your number 4, brother? Hey, Rule.
I think my number 4 is Chavez versus Taylor Mildred.
That was a yes.
Yeah,
Yes, indeed.
I love that fight. Even though the one I wanted Mildred to win, but it was just you gotta respect Chavez how he just how he hung in there like so many people would have gave up mentally. It'd have been pretty much over. Mildred would have ratty tat tat, but man, he stood in
Yeah.
it. And then it made it great too because of the big controversy we had. Because I looked it over and over again too, and I was thinking, okay, he did look over to him and he did ask him and he didn't answer him when Richard Steele said, "Are you okay?" And then he just looked at him, but then he looked at his corner. But then we were taught to look at your corner
Yeah.
too. So I was just so that made it great too. Like those little things like that, man.
Do you think that
Yeah.
fight ruined him after that? I think he wasn't the same after that Chavez fight.
No,
Nah.
he
Yeah.
wasn't. Did you know he on Facebook? He real religious.
Oh
I think
yes.
part of Hebrews or something. It's
Okay.
something. Yeah, but I've seen him. Yeah, but after that though, even with his speech and stuff like that, I
Yeah.
know and stuff. But yeah, but he was always man. That was I love that fight, man. I did.
Yes, indeed. C's, what's your number
Was
4?
was up there for me. That one was up there for me too. But my
Man.
number 4 is Ali and Foreman.
Oh.
So Ali and
Wait.
Foreman was my number 4. And it was basically because it was a classic chess match. It was Ali with the body shots and the power shots versus, Foreman with the body shots, power shots versus Ali with the skill, speed, and basically testicular fortitude to stand up to him. You know what I mean? And that way he came in the face of adversity, man, it was a sight to see. You know what I mean? So that's my number 4, Ali and Foreman.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That was a chess match too, because Ali already had a strategy. He already prepared to take the beating into the round that he was able to get him out of there. I definitely think that was a hell of a fight, especially not only was it a good fight, the anticipation of the fight itself being in Africa and in the Congo.
Boom,
yes, indeed. So that one definitely makes the list. I mean, if anybody was, given the list as such. Wow, that's a good one, man.
I totally agree. I thought. I mean, I'm telling you, that's the second one we had together. I think I said that. I thought I sent you that. I remember it, man. I absolutely agree with you on that one, man. It was so deep, so like Mike Tyson and everybody back in the day, and he supposed to kind of, they was counting them out. You know what I'm saying? I think
He was facing the boogeyman. Yeah.
Yes, man. I love Ali, man. Oh man,
Ali was a bad guy, man. He was a great fighter. Great fighter.
Great
All
person.
right. So number 3. My number 3 is Ali Frazier 2.
Okay.
And the reason why I picked that was just to give a guy a rematch for going through hell in one. that right there alone stands out by itself to be, just the courage just to want to go through with such brutality that you've been through from the first time fighting this guy. Because from the first fight, Ali said he thought he was going to die.
Yeah, man. He said it was like, what he say, going to, is that what he said?
Yeah, he's like going to hell or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So you got to respect just the courage just to go through that again. Yeah. And it was a war again, though. It was another war.
Oh, yeah.
So what's your number 3, Haru?
Okay, for number 3, I think I'm going to pick, y'all remember this, I think I'm going to pick Gotti and Robinson.
Okay.
Y'all remember that?
Is that that was a hell of a one too.
Ivan Robinson.
I remember him. Robinson. Yes, indeed.
They fumbled. Yeah.
Any Gotti fights was damn near one of those.
Yeah, Gotti was just a classic maker. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
But I gotta. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, brother.
Oh,
go.
About Gotti, because I was thinking about it, was that one thing that to me that made Gotti transcend to even more greatness for me is when okay. So I'm digging into my vault with my one of my greats, but I gotta say it, when he fought Ward, the way he changed up, the way he was able to box, you know how hard it is to go from a brawler like that to really actually boxing, and your reflexes as a boxer is, and not as a man. It was. I honestly, I've never seen that. I've never seen nobody do that until I saw him do that in that fight. That he was able to really up. Now, of course, him trying to box Mayweather, it looked like he was lethargic and methodical, and he couldn't. But you know what I'm saying. But for him as a brawler to start actually boxing like a real boxer with the same reflexes of boxing and the moves he was just incredible. I thought that was incredible. But I didn't say that. Anyway, so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nah, bro, that was on time though, because I think any of Gotti's definitely is worthy of it, man, for sure, man. C's, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is beginning of a classic. Did they have 4? I think they have 4. Morales and Barrera.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. That first one was whoa. Like, it's just like I say, I'm a fan of the back and forth when both guys do well. You know what I mean? Regardless of who wins, it's like, okay, both of y'all did good. You know what I mean? Entertainment value is there. So for the best fights for me, it's like going to be that where it's like good gracious, and it keeps you on edge to the end of the fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You on edge all 12 rounds, and that for that fight, where it was like that, it was just like, who's winning? I don't even know. You know what I mean? It's like hard rounds to score. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Can't really pick. You know what I mean? So yeah, Morales
Yeah.
Barrera one was definitely one of those.
Five. Yes.
Yeah, they definitely to fight that many times that lets you know how serious they were. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep fighting each other over and over again.
And
Back
people
then.
wanting to see it.
Yes.
Didn't Barrero just fight an exhibition against Hatton, right?
Hatton. Yeah, I think I
Oh
heard.
no, which
about
one was that?
yeah.
Was that which one was that? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
Well,
man.
So,
What's
yeah,
your
I heard
number?
Barrera.
Okay, so my number 2. Everybody know this might make most people's list. My number 2 is Kearns versus Hagler, the greatest 3 rounds in boxing history.
Yeah.
I mean, they look like they both was from Minnesota Avenue. The other dude was from Mississippi Avenue.
Yeah. There.
And they met at the go.
They met at the park.
Yep.
Met at the park, right? Right in the middle.
Moves with the wall, man. I'm trying to tell you. You know how we used to say in the clutch back in the day?
Yeah, they was clutching. They was clutching.
They was clutching for
Yeah.
real.
Was.
They definitely was. I consider because they didn't like each other. You could tell.
Yeah, you could tell. And that was the first time I seen hurt like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
He caught him right in the boom. I was like, oh. Yeah.
Showed up, man. So, brother Haru, what's your number 2?
So my number 2 is Bo Holyfield 2.
That was a mean joint, Joe. Yes, indeed.
Oh man, yeah, man. I love Holyfield, man. Oh man, I love Holyfield, man. And see, that's the kind of stuff too I'm talking about. It's like we add in stuff like that when I think about not only how great the fight was, but who the person like Holyfield was in it, who came from different weight class and moved up. And man, it's just so hard not to respect him and make almost any fight he in is just a great fight because it's hard. You know what I mean? Oh man. But yeah, that's my number. That's my number 2.
That definitely was a good fight because I remember watching that on pay-per-view, man. And Holyfield you would think he was the biggest Bo was compared to Holyfield.
Yes, man.
And Holyfield, you would think he would be dying.
Yes.
But for some reason, Holyfield would be he was resurrecting all through that fight. And just throwing combinations like, man, but you'll think he about to be out, he come back with something.
Yeah.
He had to respect his heart. It's like he the only person really stood toe to toe with Foreman.
Yeah, and Foreman. Yeah, Foreman.
Old Foreman. When Foreman came back, he stood toe to toe right there with him. I'm like, God.
And survived, right?
Hey.
Yes, indeed. Yes. But like as I was talking about Medrick Taylor, I think Holyfield caused issues for Bo in terms of brain issues, in my opinion.
Oh wow.
I mean, that's how vicious they were fighting each other, man. I think that was from Holyfield 3. I mean, from him, Holyfield number 3. Even though he beat Holyfield, you know what I'm saying, knocked Holyfield out, but still, it's the punches that Holyfield was hitting him with was vicious, man.
Yeah, Holyfield was all muscle, like.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. 22 the punches. I remember that with Holyfield and Foreman. I remember Holyfield hitting with 22 unanswered punches.
That's vicious, man. Damn.
They were going. I remember that. They were going.
Yeah, that was a rumble, man.
What's your number?
What's your number 2, brother? C's.
My number 2 is Gotti Ward, which everybody know it's a classic. Like it's a classic. Like you can't really. I mean, that was waffling number 1 or 2 to me. It was like this 10 minutes is number 1, this 10 minutes is number 2, but it was it's one of the most classic fights you're gonna find if you know what I mean, as far as just two dudes standing there going toe to toe. Okay, whoever got the most heart gonna go out. You know what I mean? Gonna win.
Yeah.
I mean, what can I say about it? You know what I mean? It was just one of those, man. Just straight like that. Just one of those.
Yeah, them boys went to work, man. They definitely was. It was one of those telephone booth fights as well, man.
It was in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, it's absolutely. Actually, it's the absolute most. It's the best fight I've ever seen. I remember asking for it for Christmas one time. I just asked somebody else what I want for Christmas. I told him to order, because I remember we had to order it or something. I had to order it. It wasn't just, I just couldn't go. It wasn't on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
I had I love that fight. That fight give me goosebumps every time I watch it. Got which round, but C said earlier, I think it was ninth. You said ninth, right?
Yeah.
It was a few rounds, but man, right when what's my man that died, the announcer was like, you see, you just don't see this kind of stuff no more. The referee stopped the fight. He was just saying how I was looking at this fight, man. This is the kind of stuff that inspires you. Ross, he like before I fight, I like to watch fights like that because it reminds me. It reminds me I'm a dog. You had to tell your mind. You know what I'm saying? Because them was some dogs in there. Them right there. I hurt. Like, come on. A body shot like that feel like, and for him to even go down like that, you see his face. And remember, God, he was just sitting down there, and it looked like he wasn't gonna get up. But not only get up, hey man, this fight right here, yeah, I ain't seen nothing like it. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Man, it's all good, brother. Yes, indeed. Okay, we down to the wire, right? But we're gonna add an honorable mention in there as well. So, hey, Will, if you want to think of something, also to add as an honorable mention as well. But my number one is Diego Corrales versus Jose Luis Castillo.
Luis Castillo.
Yes.
Castillo. Yeah. That right there
was incredible.
Was one of the greatest comebacks I ever saw in my life.
Yes.
God, oh mercy.
Yes.
That guy was. If this was today, they would stop the fight, and we would never see that comeback. So,
right.
So back then,
quick hook,
boop, it was over. Yeah. This boy came back. He got up. Good hell, he went to work, man. Went to work. He go down again, get back up.
Yeah.
And his eye looked like he had a mouse on it. But man,
spitting out the mouthpiece to get a little bit more time.
Yes, man.
Yes, indeed. 10th round comeback. And in this day and time, if that would have happened, we wouldn't have been able to see the comeback. I mean, the people are dying now. They're dying then, some people. But, I think death now is because of the weight loss situation and the brutal sparring. Back then, you had them old school trainers who knew there was actual fighters who understood that sometimes, what I'm saying, your job is to work on things when sparring, not kill each other.
Yeah.
But in today's time, I see a lot of these inexperienced trainers who are not fighters allowing guys just get in there and beat the hell out of each other, which is unsafe. And so now that's why I understand the precautions now compared to them. So I think it's based upon experienced trainers, in my opinion. Hey, Ru, what's your number one?
Well, I gotta be honest. My man C stole my number one. So which was Gotti. Gotti 4. But I'm gonna tell you,
it could be your number one.
It's still gonna be your number one, yeah.
Yeah, that could be your number one.
Okay, well, it is. Cause see, I was getting ready to substitute it with something. I ain't want to be a liar.
No, you can't take your number one.
That's your number one. It's all good, man.
But that was my number one. But the one you just got finished mentioning, the Corrales, that's really right there too. It's really right there too for me too, though, because because it's that comeback. That comeback was, you can't ever find heart like that. Like that heart right there, That's that I'm willing to die here first
Facts.
before I lose, and then man, that thing gave me goosebumps too. I really love that fight too. But yeah, I got God. That was my first though. Gotti, and that was my first. When I saw that, oh man, yeah, that was incredible. So that's my number one, y'all. So yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
indeed, man. That's
Hey,
worthy of a number one. And that's the
yeah.
beautiful thing about these, because sometimes we do get reminded because we miss a few. Because I
yeah,
was missing a few last one when we had Sean and Bake on there, the same thing. I was like, damn, I was thinking about that too and forgot that. So it's common for us to do that because it's so many fights. Our vote, you know what I'm saying?
There's so much.
Can
Yeah.
take with so much, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, but man, I
Yeah.
understand, brother, man. C's, what's your number one?
Hey man, I stole your number one. She stole my number one. You know what I mean?
Which one? Corrales?
Corrales Castillo is the fight that I go back to, and
Yes,
I mean
yes,
I can watch that to this day, and
yes.
still feel like on edge, knowing how the outcome gonna come. I'm just still like this,
Yeah,
and knowing what's gonna
Yeah.
happen. But it's a classic match, man. It's a classic comeback. Like in my opinion, that's the best round ever for me. You know what I mean? That
yeah,
round there is just because of the emotions. You know what I mean? And knowing
yes,
like, and that man was out. He was out on
He
his
was
feet.
out. Yes.
yes,
He was.
You know, so
yes.
and to come back from that, and Chico was one of my favorites, man. He was that was one of my favorites too. So yeah, that's number one, Corrales Castillo. That's it right there.
So now we're going to add to the equation there. The honorable mentions. These guys may not make the top 5, but they're worthy of mentioning because of the how electrifying they were, or whatever the reason for choosing them. And my honorable mention fight will be Mayweather versus Pacquiao, just because of the numbers don't lie.
Oh, okay.
That was one of the most anticipated fights in history. It was the number one grossed, number 2, but I'm talking pure boxers, not an MMA fighter versus a superstar boxer. Mayweather and Pacquiao just made the world stop when they fought.
Yeah, that's absolutely accurate.
Yeah, and the world stopped, and Mayweather showed anybody that had a problem with fighting a southpaw, go watch that fight. You'll know how to fight a southpaw.
Yeah.
Because he shut him down, like that right hand, straight right hand.
Yeah.
Stepping to the left. I mean, Floyd was doing different things that was unconventional too when he was making it, but it was perfection on how to fight a southpaw. You can learn a lot from that fight. In my opinion, that honorable mention is because it was the most anticipated fight, in my opinion, in history. And second to, of course, the MMA. That's more of a different base. You're adding 2 bases together in one. But boxing and boxing base, they done numbers like no other.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your your honorable mention, brother Haru?
Oh man, I'm not sure if I had. I guess I misunderstood. But I was thinking. You said I was thinking about a fighter, right?
Okay.
So I was about a fight, but can I say my honorable mention? Because I was just thinking about him today, and if I say the name, you'll be like, "Wow, I remember him." Ike Belbucci.
Heavyweight.
Y'all remember Ike?
Like
I
remember that big guy.
He's the GOAT. Yeah, so I was thinking about a fight he had, and I couldn't remember. But I remember getting into a good rumble, but I couldn't remember, so I remember his name. That's why I said, Ike Belbucci. Yeah.
Slim was the truth, man. He get hit.
Did he have one with Galata or somebody?
He fought. What's his name? When it Tour.
David
Tour.
Didn't he stop Tour?
But I don't think Tour ever got stopped. I ain't know Tour got stopped.
I think he did, because
Tour
didn't he go to jail for rape or something?
One of them did. No, honestly, I think that was Gucci did.
Yeah, he went to jail for rape, right? And that's the only reason why he probably become the world champion, in my opinion.
Yeah, he was a
Man,
bad guy,
that's
man. He was a bad dude.
yeah. I
It's the
remember.
truth.
Dang.
Yes,
You know
indeed. It's the truth.
another fight I should have mentioned. That I did like too because I thought it was great. Um, it was two Ali and Liston, and also honestly Mike Tyson and Burbick. Just
Oh
because
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
youngest champion of the world. We watched the era come in. That's what made it great. And Mike Tyson was a killer in that thing. Like,
Facts.
you know what I mean? Showing me the stuff that I use forever, the body and the up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I
He was
Mm-hmm.
saw it.
hitting him with some shit too. He was hitting him with some
Wink,
nice
wink.
shit. Yes, indeed. Bang, bang, bang,
Yeah.
bang. Just come back up top. Hell of a fight, man. Hell of a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Please,
good.
what's your honorable mention, brother?
For mine, I had two, but he got one with Chavez and Mildred, but the other one was Nigel Benn and Gerald McClellan.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
One of the ones that
That
pissed me
fight
off, man.
was that fight was fire. It was a good fight. Ben got up from first round, knocked down, came back, made the fight. You know what I mean? It was back and forth from there on. And the other reason why is because of the aftermath of that fight. Another reason why I want to give an honorable mention is the aftermath of that fight, and it shows what can happen in that ring to these people. You know what I mean? Who
Real
Yeah.
talk.
going out here for entertainment, and just McClellan was that man back then. He was knocking everything out,
Yeah.
early, wasn't going long, wasn't what I mean, wasn't no. And Ben showed the heart of a warrior too in the
Yeah.
same breath, So just want to get that fight a little bit of credence and respect. Put some respect on that one,
Yes,
So
indeed, man. I remember McCullen, man, when he fought Julian Jackson, and they was talking about like hard knockouts. And I didn't hear about Gerald McCullen until that fight. My uncle ordered it on pay-per-view. And this one, I just about the time I probably just about a year or two just in the fight game boxing as a young man, and watching that fight, I became an instant fan of McCullen, man. Off the break, like literally wanted to be like him because
Mhm.
I thought Julian Jackson was the boogie man, skinny
Oh,
boogie man.
really what?
He really was. Yeah. And they was throwing boom. You could hear them punches. Them both of them was like boom, boom. Man, it was vicious, man. To see that, and I had a heavy respect for him after that. And to see, as Sean mentioned, as C's mentioned, to see him go down,
Yeah.
and it's still to this day, is still enduring the effects of that injury that happened to him till today. He's blind. He's also deaf.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of other complications, man. But he survived because this, a lot of guys just didn't make it. But it's definitely had to be on that list, man, because of the like this Veterans Day. That's like it's like a fallen soldier that's still living but still suffering through war. The
Yeah, man.
injuries that came from that.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I think his birthday was about a week or so ago, or something.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, it was about last week, I think it was, man.
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate you, brother Haru, for coming on here, man.
I appreciate you guys for having me.
Yes, indeed, man. You're welcome anytime, brother. You already know that,
Anytime,
man.
yeah, you know it.
Anytime you want to. We got so many topics that we're gonna have, man. I think we want to do a fight. We're gonna pick a robbery that we think was a robbery.
Oh,
And all of us we're gonna do. We can do about 3 of them. Let's do about 3 or 4 of them, where we can compare our judging. We all have to watch the fight and do a judging, like a scorecard. You know what I'm saying? All of us have our own scorecards, and say was the judges correct or was they incorrect? You know what I'm saying? So that'd be something we do in the future, man. I think that'd be a great one too, man.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Yes, indeed. So hey, Rue, I'll let you know, brother, when we gonna put that together, man. But man, we gotta say this to the audience, man. Please hit the like and subscribe.
Yes.
As C said last week, man, it doesn't cost anything, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't do it, you must be a hater.
Oh man, you're a hater.
Yeah,
Don't be a
if
hater.
you don't be a hater. Just hit the like and subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? It's free. It's free. So it's free.
It's just a click.
Yeah, that's it. Done deal. Simple process.
Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, the second win, Boxing Media. Peace.